So all you have to do is go on the YouTube and type in Harmonic Trading, and you're going to come across so much of this garbage out there. This guy has taken it to an extra degree. He put on here the relative strength index at 14, and he put on the harmonic strength index. And this is some funny stuff. And the reason why I'm ripping into this harmonic trading is it's an utter waste of time, along with Fibonacci's. And there's just so much wrong with this. Listen to this.
So now we came back, and after a lot of noise, a lot of sideways action.
A lot of noise and sideways action, which are trades for people that are on a certain time frame.
We are right back where we were 15 months ago.
15 months. And how many trades have you done? And this is another guy that will not mention how he got in, where he placed his stop, blah, 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 blah. And he's got a whole system he's selling. He's got harmonic trading. He's like August 10th. Not a lot of views on this. 3 down thumbs. No comments. Formation seeker. Yeah. How's that working out for you? I know at first glance it seems like a good idea. Look at that. He's got it all marked off here. You mean if I would have bought on C? But this is all hindsight. Watch what a big failure this is. And notice the trigger words like expectations and
14 months ago. So this gives us a lot to think about, because clearly
gives us a lot to think about. You know what would give me a lot to think about is, why did I pay for this guy's thing? Why am I wasting time with this? Thinking of all the trades I missed.
We've given this enough time. I've talked about.
We've given that enough time. Time's up, buddy. Come here, you.
About this in the monthly report. If anyone that's in here would like to get a copy of that monthly report.
Oh, I can't wait. Just to prove that all this bullshit on your screen works.
Just send me an email to harmonictrader@harmonictrader. I'll gladly send you a copy, and also all of last year's reports are on my Facebook page, where you can download and see all of those reports for free. That basically spells out why this 2140 area was so important. So now today, and let's go to the 5-minute chart, literally see that we are now there, and we just hit there. And
we're now there, but he's got this bat wing up in here, whatever the fuck that is. What the hell is this guy doing? 15 months.
And this gives us a lot to think about, because if we're basing our decisions...
A lot to think about. Now look at that. That's gorgeous. Now I think this is the appeal here, people. And some guy, Victor, it's like, no, this stuff really works, man. Okay, it really works. Well, it definitely looks beautiful. I'm not going to deny that. But how long are people going to get punished in these markets before they realize that this X to A to B to C to B to boo blah to B is a joke? If you have a buy limit sitting right at the edge here, isn't that the trade? If you have a sell limit right at the tippy top, and you could, for 15 months, you could arrange traded this big explosion here. Did he ride that? See where the market makers are making money off you? You should be a market maker. You should put your buy limits down there. You should put your sell limits up there. You should trade this for 15 minutes or 5, whatever this. Shouldn't you? Don't you? Don't you want to make those? Won't you want to do those trades? Of course, 15 months. That's a pretty ridiculous thing there. Okay, let's just look at these words he's using.
Off of the daily chart, then we would all agree that this is the first test. This little reaction out of the zone, that's a difficult call because
I don't want to hear that. I came to you for easy stuff. I mean, well, it would be a difficult call for anybody. And if somebody's never traded, it's a difficult call. So how is this guy saving me any sweat, equity? He's not.
it didn't go to the 382. The best it
Wait a second. Did I just hear you say it didn't go to the 382? I think that's a Fibonacci number.
situations, the best type ones, the first test will come to a 382 and then retest and give you a larger move. That's kind of the model approach of how most harmonic patterns unfold, and you know how we treat the first completion versus the second completion. All of that sets us up that even if this is somewhat of an extended type 1,
this is like Ellioticians. Even if this is an extension wave, honey, I gotta make some money, man. I got bills to pay. I got babes I gotta support.
and that's still in question. Even our type 2 reactions here, right here, back in April and May, is where we were having our type 2 reaction. So then in the last 2 weeks with that Brexit news and that severe shakeout, we are not only back, but we're above that announcement. So
I don't know if it's possible to drill down in here, but if you're looking really closely here, you can. He's got all that crap at the bottom. I think this is called resistance. So you sell there, and then when they do this shakeout, you stagger buy limits. You've always got staggered buy limits to capture stuff that you just you don't know what's going to happen. You always hear that. We don't know what's going to happen. But we're going to play it. If you don't know what's going to happen, then just throw orders out there. Well, I'm not talking about betting your life savings on each ticket. But I don't know if you can see my point. I don't know if people can see what I'm just trying to demystify the market. There's nothing mystical here. The Wizard of Oz, Gartley's are the reverb chamber for the Wizard of Oz, and the smoke is the Fibonacci. And that's how it is.
So from a pattern perspective, the question we have to ask ourselves,
How about from a price perspective? And this is it. This is pattern on top of pattern, complexity worship. This guy is all over the place. This guy is ridiculous. And now we can expect some reversal. I mean, the expectations. Okay, expectations. Isn't there a Shakespeare thing about that?
ourselves, is this pattern failing? And I think if we follow the type 1, type 2 model, we have to respect what we see. This is probably the first time I've said this in about 15 months, but I think what happens beyond today will trigger a much larger move. Today we can kind of consider this the official terminal bar for the weekly chart, although I really felt that the 3 points that the S&P fell shy on this 1618 here.
It's too much. I can't take it. This is why. It's ridiculous. Harmonic trading is mental masturbation. That's all there is to it. He's also not telling you how big to get in, and he's got a checklist at the beginning of this thing. Look at this garbage. This is what I have a big problem with. Is no action here.
711.
No action taken. Look at No action, no trade, failure to exhibit reversals. Yeah, that's a breakout trade. So breakout traders, aggressive money management after terminal price bar. Blah, 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 blah. Ooh, the execution zone pass. Are you kidding me, man? After establishing the terminal price bar to execute immediately thereafter at the market? No limits, no stops, one entry, one stop loss, automatic profit. Some guy emailed me. He's like, I'm losing money trading. And I said, are you on Skype? Anybody that wants me to, I'm really almost a nice person in person, but I could show you how to trade in one day. Now, it's just order placement. You just pick a currency pair and you put an order in there. And you just sit there in the demo, and you put your buy stops above and your sell stops below, and you put your buy limits below and your sell limits above. And come on, I'll send you a MT4 folder with 4 drops in there. You can't fuck that up. You can build your own wider stops or tighter stops. I had a guy that he wanted to have no take profit. He wanted to stop with infinite profits. Talk about greed. So, and you can see the way people write scripts is how they trade. So the coolest thing about writing scripts is that you're building trade plans, tons of them. You've got the whole market covered. You're not just sitting there on the street corner waiting for the streetcar named Desire. You're not sitting. You've got airplanes. You got planes, trains, automobiles. You've got these hovercrafts. You're willing to take up any movement you are in. Now, granted, it's difficult to focus on all that, but if you're placing an order 300 pips deep on a currency, you've already cued your mind to, yeah, this is like, I'll do that. And if the Gartleys really work, then place your pinning there and walk away. No need to babysit it. The problem with the Gartley is, as the market's dropping, and you've got this whole expectation, you've built all these things on it. Now, now I'm really, and I'm only saying this because I thought this was the way to go. Build one samurai sword and sharpen it all day long. And just be like, here I go. Well, why not just be a pig and get an Uzi and get a bunch of rounds of ammunition and just start killing people? And I'm so curious as to how people have glommed onto this Gartley, but I think it comes from the movies and patterns, and a lot of guys like patterns because they like a girl that has certain patterns, and or a guy if you're going the other way. And the thing is that you're key to that. You recognize it. And the idea that you've approached the market with your samurai sword, your Gartley, and you're like, okay, man, I've seen this in the movies. And you always want in the movies, you're always wondering, well, dude, kill him with a shotgun. Of course, the movie's designed so that everybody in the movie has nunchucks or a knife or something. So if you think the market's like a movie, and I think it's kind of hard for people, since I had an argument with this flaming liberal on Facebook, I'm like, dude, you're living inside of like all of these things that have rubbed off on you from the media and all these falsehoods and all these misconceptions. If you were just to print out, and of course, if you go back to the olden days where people literally read the ticker paper coming out of a machine going, okay, buy, okay, sell. There's a read the ticker. I'll put read the ticker in the link. I always say that, but I never. Read the ticker. The Gartleys, they work if your stop's wide enough. Any trade works if your stop's wide enough so you don't get kicked out. Any trade works if your stop's tight enough so if it's a big ticket, you're not losing a lot of money. There's nothing mysterious here. The amount of views and the amount of, and I can't really say, I guess there's a difference between being a trading coach and being a trader. Some people can, like, don't you wonder when you're watching, you ever used to have the golf channel on cable, and there was a guy there, and he was showing people how to improve their golf game, and I thought, well, how come you're not out playing? How come you're not kicking ass? You know this stuff inside out. And maybe he doesn't want to do that because he's like, you know how hard that is to play through all that stuff? He goes, somebody probably said to him once, hey, you're good at teaching, or somebody said, here's $100 if you show me how to play. Next thing you know, he went down the teaching route. But at least even a golf coach is going to tell you, listen, when you get onto the course, right, and now maybe the golf coach is going to say to you, listen, when you're shitting your pants because you're down by so many strokes, you're going to have to pull your head up. That might be a psychological coach. So there's a psychological coach that's going to tell you, go ahead and do it. But I think the scripts are the core. The trade plan, in other words, backward engineer, the core is the trade plan. If you're only risking $5 on a 1K with a 50 pip stop, where's the sweat? Why are you sweating that trade? You have to ask yourself, when you're down 20 pips and you're like, okay, well, they haven't hit my X pattern on my Gartley, so I'm going to stick in there. Another part of you says, well, I still like it, should I add? And this is the first fork in the road for a complete breakdown in everything you've done up to that point, because as soon as you say, well, I'm going to add one more, did you allow for adding one more? Did you get enlightened enough on the first trade? Because you know you're fucking wrong. Anybody that thinks that this stuff is going to give them an edge, or like the guy said, well, I'd use it for confirmation. How many confirmations do you need? This guy needs like 80. How many confirmations do you need before they pull the trigger? And all that confirmation energy is stacked up in expectations piled on top of your... It's not what people think. It is not like, well, I have to... You're not flying a plane, man. You're flying 40 planes. You have 40 tickets in the market. You have 40 brokers. You're a trader. Now, if you want to take the retail approach, which is one guy with a bad spread watching this crap. And this is why retail, well, they statistically say, if you open the books on these brokers, look at this, all the retail traders are losing. Yeah, because some of these guys are trading for entertainment, for God's sakes. Professional traders couldn't afford to do that. If you're making $100,000 a year at your day job and you're blowing $10,000 a year trading and you've never won, maybe that's your therapy. Maybe you just get off on it. Like, if you go get a hooker and she's hot and you know you're paying for her, but you're not going to marry her, and maybe she's marriage material, but you know that you're not marriage material. That's why you're at the hooker. You got to run a babe because... So a lot of this stuff you hear, oh, retail traders, 80% of retail... Yeah, but they want to lose. I want a hooker. Oh, 80% of hookers don't get married. Really? Huh. It's not supposed to. The cause and effect. This is probably the biggest void in... I don't know, maybe I think that people have lost their way on cause and effect. Like, just because you wake up and yawn in the morning doesn't make the sun come up, although they happen together, right? So coincidence is not causality. But that's been with all this conspiratorial thing, everything's been completely meshed together. Now, if that doesn't leak into your trading world, I mean, you're just one person. And the cool thing about trading is that if you examine the other aspects of life, or the things that go on in the world, you start to see that it's not what you think. You're putting that together, just like somebody might say, oh, well, there's Jesus and he's looking out for me, and I pray to Jesus at night. I pray I'm going to make more money tomorrow. You're probably going to make more money tomorrow. Not because Jesus or God is like, hey, we're going to rig the market for you. Because you have confidence. This Gartley's supposed to give you confirmation and confidence, right? It can backfire. Over-confirm. When I started trading, I was so scared out of my mind. I was like, oh my God, I want to have confirmation. I'm not going to place that trade unless I know. And it wasn't really until I really accepted the fact that I don't know what's going to happen. And my Gartley's bullshit and my R-size bullshit as far as position sizing and what if the news is coming out. So if you've ever been trading, I traded soybeans, I didn't know there was news coming out. There was a drought and the market was limit up against me 2 days in a row, 30 cents. Just blew the count up. It's $5,000 gone, boom. 2 days, $5,000 gone, and we had a big laugh about it, me and my broker, because I thought, well, that's, what are you gonna do, right? Because the nice thing about Forex is no such thing as locked limit. You can get out whenever you want. And you have a stop in there. And you don't have to pick up the phone. But this rule list here, I'm very conscientious person, and I really do take, like, if I bought a book and I spent $300 on this book, and I'd be like, okay, type 1 reversal, and I just started to memorize this whole, I would memorize this whole thing and be like, that's what I'm sticking to. And then if I lost on a trade, I'd go, oh man, maybe this guy's got his head up his ass, or maybe I didn't do it right. And beginner's luck really comes from the fact that you just pull the trigger, you don't care. So the carefree state of mind only appears when you don't have a expectation that is too large based on confirmations. In other words, using a Gartley or RSI's confirmation is just as bad as it's an expectation. You're actually bolstering the expectation with the confirmation. You're piling on, okay? Like you see the girl in the coffee shop and you're already picking out like bed sheets, but you haven't even married her yet. Well, girls, I think, probably do that. They're like, oh, me, him, and me, and so I don't know. I think it's very psychological, and I think this impedes the psychology. The Gartleys are nothing more than what porn would be to if you were married. Like if you had a hooker on the side and you were married, so which way is it? Are you married, or are you just in it for the sex? Okay, I don't know.